Namaskar and welcome to today's lecture on amalgamation of companies. I am Dr. Swapna Pillai, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce at the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. Today, we are going to discuss amalgamation of companies, absorption of companies, Accounting Standard 14 that lays down norms for accounting procedures under amalgamation of companies, then purchase consideration and the methods of purchase consideration. Before we start with the meaning of the word amalgamation, let us look at one example. Here we have two companies, A Limited and B Limited. Now A Limited sells bottle costing rupees 20. B Limited also sells bottle costing rupees 19. Looking at this, A Limited reduces the cost of the bottle to rupees 19. Now, B Limited also reduces the cost of the bottle to 18 rupees 50 paise. So what do we see here? We see that A Limited and B Limited both are competing with each other and they are losing their profits. Now let us look at another situation. The advertisement expenses of A Limited is rupees 5 lakhs. B Limited also spends money on advertisement and its advertisement expenses is 6 lakh rupees. So to meet the competition again, A Limited increases the expenditure cost to 6 lakh. B Limited also increases its advertisement expenses from 6 lakhs to 7 lakhs. So here second situation arises where we see that due to competition, both companies are increasing their expenditure. So we see two situations here. One, the profits are decreasing. Two, the expenses are also increasing. So what do these companies do? Now, to avoid this competition and to benefit both, A Limited and B Limited decide to come together and form a new company. So this is where amalgamation of companies takes place. So now amalgamation is when two or more companies come together to form a new company. Now this they do it for mutual benefits. So when they form a new company, the existence of old company comes to an end. So in this case, the old company is A Limited and B Limited. So A Limited and B Limited combine to form a new enterprise which is called as AB Limited. So A Limited sells its assets and liabilities to AB Limited, or AB Limited purchases the assets and liabilities of A Limited. Similarly, B Limited also sells its assets and liabilities to AB Limited, and AB Limited purchases the assets and liabilities of B Limited. In return, what do A Limited and B Limited get? In return, they get an amount which is called as purchase consideration. Now, similar to amalgamation of companies, there is another term which is called as absorption. What is absorption? Now, when one company is taken over by the other company and the existence of the other company remains unchanged. For example, if we have two companies, A Limited and B Limited, if A Limited is taken over by B Limited, A Limited gets merged into B Limited and the name of the new company remains B Limited. So B Limited remains, but A Limited gets merged into B Limited. This is called as absorption. Now we have seen that in amalgamation, companies come together to form a new enterprise, and the existence of the old enterprises or the selling enterprises come to an end and they are purchased by the new enterprises. So the selling company is also called as amalgamating company. It is also called as transferor company. Similarly, the purchasing company, in this case AB Limited, is called as the amalgamated company or the transferee company. So now here we have two companies. One is the purchasing company and the other is the selling company. Now let us talk about AS14. According to AS14, amalgamation is of two types. Amalgamation in the nature of purchase, amalgamation in the nature of merger. There is another name for amalgamation in the nature of purchase. This is purchase method. Another name for amalgamation in the nature of merger is pooling of interests method. What is amalgamation in the nature of purchase? When the purchasing company makes selective purchase of assets and liabilities, we may say that this is in the nature of purchase. Whereas in the nature of merger, the purchasing company purchases the entire assets and liabilities of the selling company. Detail of amalgamation in the nature of purchase and merger we would be discussing later. Coming back to AS14, AS14 defines certain rules under which we identify an amalgamation in the nature of purchase or merger. What does Accounting Standard 14 say? Accounting Standard 14 says that a company has to fulfill 5 conditions under this norm. And if it fulfills these 5 conditions, we may call this amalgamation in the nature of merger. And if the company does not fulfill these conditions, then surely it would be in the nature of purchase. If there is no mention in the question whether the amalgamation is in the nature of purchase or merger, then we have to follow it in the nature of purchase. Now let us look at the 5 rules which Accounting Standard 14 has laid down. All the assets and liabilities are to be transferred by the amalgamating company to the amalgamated company. That is, from the selling company to the purchasing company. This is rule number 1. Rule number 2. Shareholders holding not less than 90% shares in the amalgamating company are ready to become shareholders in the amalgamated company. Rule number 3. The purchase consideration is to be paid in the form of equity shares, and if there are any fractions, it can be paid in cash. Rule number 4. There must be an intention of the amalgamated company to carry on the business of amalgamating company. Rule number 5. There is no need to do the adjustments in the book value of assets and liabilities of the amalgamating company when the purchase consideration is paid by the amalgamated company. So these are the 5 rules which Accounting Standard 14 states to decide whether amalgamation is in the nature of merger or amalgamation is in the nature of purchase. So as stated earlier, if these 5 points are fulfilled, then we will consider this amalgamation in the nature of merger. Otherwise, it would be in the nature of purchase. Let us now come to purchase consideration. What is purchase consideration? Purchase consideration is the value of amount receivable by the shareholders of the transferor, that is selling company, for selling their assets and liabilities to the transferee company, that is the purchasing company. Now this purchasing consideration, which is called as PC, may be received in terms of shares, in terms of debentures, in terms of cash. There are 4 methods of calculating PC. First, lump sum. Second, net payments method. Third, net assets method. And the fourth, intrinsic method. We will take these methods one by one. Let us start with the first method, lump sum method. What is lump sum method? When lump sum or fixed amount is payable by the purchasing company to the shareholders of the selling company, this method becomes lump sum method. It is very clearly mentioned in the question, and no adjustments need to be done. For example, if the question states the purchase consideration is agreed at rupees 12 lakh rupees, so this 12 lakh rupees would be the purchase consideration under lump sum method. Method number 2, net payments method. Under net payments method, the purchase consideration is the total of shares, debentures and cash which are to be paid for the claims of equity and preference shareholders of the transferor company, that is the selling company. Now, payment made for external liabilities, debenture holders, liquidation expenses, they are not to be included in the formula. So, what is the formula for purchase consideration under net payments method? It is payment made to shareholders plus debentures plus cash. So, all these three constitute net payments method. Let us look at one example. On 1st April 2019, Sun Limited was formed by amalgamating Star Limited and Moon Limited. So, Star and Moon are the selling company and Sun Limited is the purchasing company on the following terms. Sun Limited to issue 12% debentures of 1000 rupees each to debenture holders of Star Limited. Now here they are going to issue debentures to the debenture holders. Debenture holders does not come under the definition of net payments method. Point number 2. Preference shareholders of Star Limited insisted for allotment of 900 11% redeemable preference shares of rupees 100 each. Point number 3. The equity shareholders of Star Limited are to be allotted 10 equity shares at par for 7 equity shares held by them. So, for 7 equity shares in the selling company, they will get 10 shares in the purchasing companies. And the shares of Star Limited are rupees 21,000 of 10 each. We have to calculate the purchase consideration payable to Star Limited. Now let us look at the solution. We will take into consideration point number 2 and point number 3 because the payment here is made to the shareholders, preference shareholders and equity shareholders. So as per the calculation, point number 1 would be 900 11% preference shares of 100 each, that would be 90,000. And the second calculation would be for every 7 shares in the selling company, they would get 10 shares in the purchasing company. So here we have to create an equation. So for 21,000, how much amount it would be? For 21,000 shares, the amount would be 21,000 into 10 divided by 7, which is 30,000 equity shares, and the value of each share is 10 rupees. So the amount becomes 3 lakhs. So equity shares 3 lakhs, preference shares 90,000, and the total amount of purchase consideration becomes 3,90,000. This is how we calculate purchase consideration under the net payments method. Let us look at the third method, the net assets method. In this method, PC is determined by calculating the total number of assets and liabilities taken over by the transferee company. And after that, from the total assets, total liabilities is deducted and balance is called as net assets methods. In simple words, total assets of the selling company is deducted from the total liabilities and we get what is called as net assets method. While calculating purchase consideration under net assets method, we have to take note of some important points. The assets taken over are added, but there are certain assets which are not taken over. So assets which are not taken over are to be excluded while calculating the purchase consideration. Not only this, fictitious assets like debit balance of P&L, preliminary expenses, expenses on issue of shares, and debentures, including discount and commission, advertisement, which is given in the asset side of the balance sheet of the company, are excluded in the total assets. Similarly, liabilities which are added and liabilities which are not taken over are deducted. Credit balance of P&L, general reserve, compensation fund, debenture redemption fund and other reserves created out of profits of the previous years are also not to be included. To understand this method, let us look at one example. The total assets of JAY Limited amounted to rupees 18,28,150, which includes a preliminary expenses of 13,250. Now this will not be included in the calculation under net assets method. So what we will do, we will deduct this from the total assets. Then the company's trade payables amounted to rupees 1,78,250. Reserves were 1,50,000. Capital was 15 lakh rupees. The total assets of Kishan Limited amounted to rupees 6,80,000. Sundry liabilities rupees 60,000. Bills payable 20,000, and the statement of P&L rupees 1 lakh and 5 lakhs were the share capital. The question says, after amalgamation of these two companies, Jai Kishan Company Limited was formed. So Jai Kishan Company is the purchasing company. We have to calculate the purchase consideration for both the companies. Now let us look at the solution. If you look at the calculation of purchase consideration, we find that the total assets of JAY Limited was 18,28,150, which included a preliminary expenses of 13,250. So if we deduct this amount from the total assets, our real assets is 18,14,900. Whereas in Kishan Limited, there was no such additional fictitious assets and the assets stood as 680 without any change. Now what is the next step? Next step is to deduct the liabilities. So JAY Limited had liability of 1,78,150 and after deducting this amount, we arrive at the purchase consideration which is 16,36,750 in case of JAY Limited. We follow the same procedure in Kishan Limited. Kishan Limited's real assets were 6,80,000. From that, we deduct the external liabilities which amounted to rupees 80,000 and therefore now we have the net assets as 6 lakh rupees. So, the purchase consideration under the net assets method for JAY Limited is 6,36,750 and for Kishan Limited it is rupees 6 lakh. This is how this method is followed for calculation of purchase consideration. Now, let us move to the last method, intrinsic value method. Under this method, first of all, net value of assets is calculated according to the net assets method. After this, it is divided by the value of one share of transferee company, which gives the total number of shares to be received by the shareholders of the transferor company from the transferee company. Let us look at an example. There are two companies, Naman Limited and Raman Limited. It was decided that Naman Limited should be taken over by Raman Limited and the following agreements was accepted by them. The holders of every 3 shares in Naman Company Limited, they were to receive 5 shares in Raman Limited. So 3 shares in the selling company would receive 5 shares in the purchasing company, that is Raman Company Limited. Now this calculation is to be done in accordance with the intrinsic value of shares as per their balance sheet. The question further says, the net assets of Naman Company Limited is rupees 1,63,350 and Raman Company Limited is rupees 4,32,000. Share capital of Naman Limited is 450 shares of rupees 270 each, that is 1,21,500. Share capital of Raman Limited is 2,000 shares of 150 each, which is rupees 3 lakhs. So how are we going to calculate the purchase consideration under intrinsic method? For Naman Limited, the shareholders' equity was 1,21,500. For Raman Limited, it was 3 lakhs. We divide this value by the individual value of shares in each company. That is 1,21,500 would be divided by 450, that is value of 1 share of Raman Limited. Similarly, in Raman also we will divide 3 lakhs by 2,000, that is the value of 1 share. So we arrive at a value which is 334.7. This is the intrinsic value of share for Raman. Similarly, for Raman Company Limited, it is 150. How will we calculate the purchase consideration? For every 3 shares, the selling company gets 5 shares. So for 450 shares in the selling company, what would be the actual amount? So we create a ratio which is 450 multiplied by 5 divided by 3. So we get a total of 750 shares. So for 450 shares, the selling company would get 750 shares in the purchasing company. And what would be the value? The value would be 150. So this 750 shares would be multiplied with 150 and the amount would now become rupees 1,13,850. This is how purchase consideration is calculated under intrinsic value method. So we discussed 4 methods under purchase consideration. Number 1, lump sum, where lump sum amount is paid. Number 2, net payments method, where payment is made to the shareholders of the transferor company in the form of shares, debentures or cash. Number 3, net assets method, where purchase consideration is calculated by deducting liabilities from the assets taken over. Number 4, intrinsic value method, where the net assets is divided by the value of 1 share of the transferor company. In our next lecture, Amalgamation of Companies Part 2, we would discuss in detail amalgamation in the nature of purchase, amalgamation in the nature of merger, their journal entries and the preparation of balance sheet.